Today, I have a very special guest. Okay, actually, all my guests in April are very special. So, April is a special month, I would say. One is because it's Pitchy Peak's anniversary for 10th year. So, I wanted to do something different in YouTube itself. So, in April, I wanted to do some interview or conversational kind of YouTube live with four different YouTube creators. So the first one I have today is actually Jamie Lim. I don't remember where we met, but I think it's on some TikTok videos. So I was on TikTok, she's also on TikTok. So I think we did have conversation over there, and then we follow each other on YouTube and also on Instagram. So Jamie's YouTube channel focuses on exploring topics like the future of work and self-development. She's also currently right now on sabbatical and taking her time to explore life as a full-time content creator. So her current mission in life is to help folks to lead a happier, healthier life while on their journey to pursue freedom. So for today's session, it's talking to Jamie to kind of like become a full-time YouTube creator. So I have a lot of questions for her actually. So hopefully we can like squeeze her a little bit on some questions that I want to ask. And if you do have questions, you are tuning into this YouTube live, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat, and then I will show it to Jamie and she will answer you. Okay, so let me bring Jamie to the stage. Stage.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Jamie. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited.
Yes, thank you so much for like accepting this invitation for me to just have a conversation with you, because we never had any like a proper conversation. We have always been having snippets here and there on Instagram, TikTok, or even like commenting on each other like LinkedIn or even YouTube. So we never had really sit down, have a conversation with you and ask you things that I wanted to ask.
Yeah, I feel like there's so much things I can learn from you also, like, with all your knowledge in videography and
Yes.
even that day I think you texted me something about file size, right? Or exporting
Yes.
from Final Cut Pro. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I tried to look for it after that, but I think I was a bit unsuccessful. So next time when we
Okay.
meet in
Can
person, you have to
I
show
will
me
show
how to
you.
do it.
Yes, I will show you. All right. Thank you so much, Nuru, for being here. Yes. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Nuru from Muslim Food and Travel Blog. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions about to Jamie about being a full-time YouTube creator, go ahead and drop your questions, and Jamie will be happy to answer your question. Okay, maybe for a start, right? Um, my question to you is, when do you first started your YouTube channel, and basically what is that one particular event that inspires you to, okay, I want to do YouTube videos?
Mm. So I think there wasn't one particular event that inspired me
Right.
to do it. I've mostly been inspired by this YouTuber called Ali Abdal. I'm not sure a lot of you
Oh
know that he's like a
yes.
productivity guru, and he started his channel in like 2017. I sound like a bit like a stalker, but it's really because like I really look up to him in terms of like how he has built out his YouTube channel, and
Yes.
like I really want to like learn that from him. I even took his part-time YouTuber course, but
Wow.
yeah. So he started talking. I mean, he was a doctor. He was studying to be a doctor, and
Mm-mm.
he started his YouTube channel because he wanted to monetize like his side business, like which was how to teach folks how to get into medical school, right? So
Right.
he started
Yeah.
out with that, but then slowly he started deviating. I think he listened to his audience, the comments, and then they were talking about, oh, how do you actually really start a YouTube how do you be more productive at work? How do
Mm-mm.
you how do you become like a doctor and also a YouTuber, something like that? And
Mm-mm.
then he started to
Mm-mm.
really grow. And yeah, I just found his videos very interesting. So at one point in time, he started talking about, oh, why we should put ourselves out in the world. He spoke about
Yep.
passive income, having fun doing work. So I drank that Kool-Aid, and at the same time I watched and I read, the 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. He
Yes.
talks about passive income and how do you live your life so you can actually live your life and not wait till like 60 to start enjoying life, that sort of thing. Yeah, and at point of time I was also working full time. I was working at
Mm.
Google, and I think Google also taught me, like, when I think of something, right, how do I scale my message? How do I scale impact, right? And at that
Mm.
point of time, I was in recruitment. I always loved working with the younger generation, and so
Yeah.
that was what my work entailed. So, um, what could I add value, that sort of thing, to people, right? So, I really wanted to share more, like, oh, how do you write a good CV with folks? Like, stuff
Mm.
I knew, I wish I knew when I was a
Yeah.
bit younger. So I thought YouTube was such a great way to kind of like share that message. And yeah, along the way, I found, like, YouTube is really like starting a business. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So everything fit quite nicely together. And then, yeah, I think May 20th, 2019, I was like, let's just do it. And yeah, I did it. I posted my first video, which I can totally, I think you had a video on your first video will suck. Yes, I will agree to that. I look back, I was like, oh, no, no.
Yes, totally agree with you. I mean, like when I first saw your videos, I think it's on the resume writing.
Mm,
That actually uh, got my attention, even though I was already, running a business and stuff like that. But the things that you say on the video, right, really kind of like, hey, if only I know what to write back then, I could have maybe get a better, like corporate job
mm,
or something like that. Yeah, so I think those kind of tips that you gave on, I mean, on all your videos, I think it's really, really very useful for those who want to get their, I would say, I'm not sure whether I would say like be in a corporate job better, because you also share about productivity hacks and stuff
mm,
like that, right? You
mm,
also share about how to like kind of like especially for the resume, it's more like what are some of the mistakes that
mm.
people make, so that's why you get rejected with the job. Yeah, so these are some of the things that some people don't really share, which I think it's really great to have this kind of like videos, so that we know what to avoid, so that we have a better resume writing lah, in that sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was at that point of time. I was like, yeah, this is where I can really add value. This is what
Yep.
I wish I knew when I was a bit younger.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, why not? Let me start with like career tips and things like
Mm.
that also, because I was thinking, what other topics can I talk about? Like,
Right.
I didn't feel like I could really talk too much about other things.
Right.
But now slowly as I'm growing, I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of know what I want to talk about as well.
So now, when you mention about like now you actually know what you want to talk about, what is it like? Are you which area are you pivoting it?
Yeah, so with my channel, I think there's
Yeah.
three pillars. The first pillar is the the future of work now. So how I find that a bit
Mm.
different from like the resume and stuff is, yeah, the resume is really like, oh, how do I format my CV? How do
Yeah.
I write this? It's very micro level,
Mm.
I think, on like, okay, I just tell you how to do it, you do it, that sort of thing. Now I'm focusing on the future of work. So I think talking more about topics like quiet quitting, burnout, workplace culture, how do we make work work is a very important part of our lives, right?
Yes.
Um and how do we make it better for us? How do we make it fun? How do we make it
Mm.
interesting, and not have people feel like, oh my god, work, I don't want to do it, like it's such a dread. And because I've experienced that at
Right.
such a great place like Google,
Mm.
I know what it's like. I feel like I know what it's like to enjoy work every single day.
Mm.
And I don't want to feel any less than that also.
Mm. Correct.
So I think I find it a very fascinating area.
Mm-mm.
Like even now in sabbatical, I really think people should take sabbaticals also. It gives you that clarity, that
Mm.
time to really disconnect and think about, hey, what do I want for myself? Like COVID,
Yep.
I feel, was like a forced sabbatical
Yeah.
for everyone, that sort of thing. That's why people are like thinking so much.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's the future of work, the pillar. The next
Mm-mm.
pillar is a bit more on the creator journey. So my current journey now, how it's
Mm-mm.
like, from corporate to a freelancer, a
Yep.
full-time creator, that sort of thing. Because I think it's interesting to like learn on the journey. Like some kind of like to document stuff for myself also, for me to
Mm-mm.
learn from other creators, from other entrepreneurs as well.
Mm-mm.
And then the last bit is on self-development. So stuff
Mm.
like the productivity, the habits, books I love to read. Like how what am I doing in my life to kind of help me on this creator journey as like a YouTuber, that sort of thing. I think it
Right.
fits in very nicely with the creator journey, and it's like my passion topic. I love talking. I'm like a self-development nerd. I love it. Like I go to a bookstore, I go to the self-help book, and I can just sit there and stare and I look at the books
Oh,
and things like that.
okay, I should follow you to go to bookstores then. Okay, I
Mm.
think it's really great to, as a creator, whether you are on YouTube or any other platform, it's really great for you to have that pillars, right? To kind of like be focused on what you want to create
Mm.
on your content or on your social media. Because if you are, if to me personally, if you don't have like those pillars, you kind of like be all over, which you
Mm.
don't want that to happen to you, right? And people will be like questioning, okay, what actually this channel is all about, like what do you do actually. Yeah, so I
Mm.
think having like content pillars is really very important for anyone who actually does content creation, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, basically all social media in that sense,
Yeah. I
right?
mean, even to
Mm.
find the pillars is not very easy also,
Yeah.
like
Like sometimes you feel like, okay, I think I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do like a lot of things, but what is it like that resonates really with you lah? I feel that it's really something that you should go deep and dive deeper in that sense,
Yeah, yeah. I
right?
think like what resonates with you, what you can add, where you can add value. Also, I think,
Mm,
um, yeah, and I feel like now it's also changed lah from
yeah.
where I feel I could add value, and like just given the experiences I have been through, and
Yes.
I think like sharing that, yeah, it's like yeah, people resonate. So I'm like, yeah, okay, great.
Yeah, true, true, true. And then when you first started, right, were you like, I know you were mentioning that there's no like particular event, you
Mm.
just like jump into it. When you first started, were you actually embarrassed to tell people what you do, like on YouTube? I know
Not
I
really.
am. Okay.
I wasn't actually. To me, I was like, okay lah, let's just try. I knew it was gonna suck anyway. Like, let's just, it's to me, it was just like, okay, let's give it a try. Let's have fun. And mostly it was
Mm,
just my friends watching anyway because they're like super supportive, right? And uh, yeah, it was an experience lah. But now when I look back at my first video, it reminds me of like how much I've grown also.
yes.
And it's the same with everything. It's not only your first video, right?
True.
Everything you do anything for the first time is just gonna suck. It's more of like, let's just get through it,
Yep.
see how it goes, and then after that you grow like 1%. Every time you post the video, you improve something. Like,
Yes.
yeah, I think the first few videos when I look back, I was like, oh, my lighting is terrible, like terrible, and then there was a problem with audio on video.
Mm,
Like I can go back and nitpick now, that sort of thing,
yes.
and know
Correct.
exactly what I need to improve. But honestly, even now, I don't feel like my stuff is like perfect.
Mm-mm.
I struggle a lot because I don't have like that foundational things background on like really like lighting or audio and things
Mm-mm.
like that. But
Yep.
I try to learn
Yes.
online, and like YouTube is like my best teacher, to be honest.
Mm-mm.
And then I try and I put it here, and I'm like, oh, it works. Okay, it looks good, I think.
Mm.
So okay lah, let me try that again the next time round.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just start to slowly grow since that first video. But yeah, no, I wasn't embarrassed. Maybe it was because my I don't know, like when at that point of time in life, I was a bit more confident also, and a lot of my friends were
Mm.
very supportive.
Right.
I didn't tell my parents though, but yeah, with my parents, I was a bit embarrassed. I don't know why I'm a bit embarrassed with them for these sort of things, but
Right.
like basically all my friends knew and all. I'm like, yeah, go and watch, go and like that sort of thing. Yeah, and
That's so
it's great.
sweet.
Yeah, yeah, it helps to have community. Really,
Yeah,
really.
true. Actually, very true. Yeah, I think what you mentioned about that 1% of, like moving forward. I think every step that you do is a step forward,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's really, if you are thinking of creating YouTube videos or any videos for that matter, or anything like you mentioned, anything that you want to do, take that first step first,
Mm.
so you can get better in time, and you will always be a good one after that. Yeah, but then of
Mm.
course when you look back, it's a bit like not so good lah, because especially for both of us, right? When we first we look at our videos, even though I'm a videographer, but being in front of the camera is a totally different ball game altogether. Being
Mm.
behind the camera is, it's easy. Like I just, like, okay, you do this, you do that. Okay, this is how you should do. This is how you should talk. Okay, and action. But if when it comes to my turn, I'll be like staring at the lens and not blinking. And then I remember my niece, when she watched my videos, she
Mm.
was telling me, "Why are you staring at the lens? Like, why are you not blinking?" I was like, "Oh, I didn't." It's so funny. Then when I watch back, right, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm like a robot. Like I'm just stiff and not move." So
Mm.
when you grow, you be more comfortable, then that's where you can actually kind of like show yourself on videos lah, in that
Yeah,
sense.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah. I find that
Okay.
on
Mm.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, you continue, go ahead.
Oh no, I just want to say I find on video or in front of the camera, like usually you have to raise up your level of enthusiasm a little bit
Ah,
more
yes.
than in real life. Like,
Yes.
I mean, in real life, I'll probably be like, but then like it doesn't translate well across in like camera. Like especially in the video, you have to be a bit more like animated. And yeah, so after I film a video, I get a bit tired.
Oh my god, same. After, okay, usually I will batch like two videos at one time. By the time I finish the two videos, I'll be like, okay, don't disturb me. I need my I need my rest, because it's really, really very tiring. Yeah, I get that. I totally get you. Okay, we have one question from Fitri.
Mm.
What's your current content strategy for IG and YouTube?
Oh, hi Fitri. Nice to see you here.
Yes.
Um and for IG and YouTube, I think for YouTube, um I really want to just be more consistent in my posting. YouTube usually is long form. I enjoy long form a lot because I feel like
Mm,
with long form I can story tell.
yes.
With like short form video, it's very hard to story tell, and sometimes I find it very difficult to express what I want to say in like 30
Mm,
seconds, especially for educational
correct.
content. I always make sure like there's context, there's something you can relate to, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel with long form I can do that. So yeah, with long form I will hope to try to post once a week, but I think maybe I want to do once every 2 weeks lah, like the long form. And then from the long form,
Mm-mm.
do uh repurpose basically. So just cut out like interesting snippets from the
Yeah.
long form video and then repost it to IG
Mm,
and LinkedIn, because actually that's where my audience lives. Like LinkedIn is a
yep.
very big one for me in terms of this
Yes.
like future of work stuff.
Mm-mm.
Um I used to do it on TikTok also, but I have decided to move away from TikTok because
Mm,
number one, I find the degree of dopamine that hits your brain every time you scroll is not very good for you.
mm,
And also, yeah, I feel like in the past, I feel like I have just been very divided on the different platforms.
right.
And I haven't been focused on one. If I was focused on YouTube, just on YouTube, right, I feel like
Mm-mm.
I would have been more consistent and would have grown a little bit more. So I just
Mm,
want to focus on like one platform, which is YouTube.
mm-mm.
And then everything else, I will repurpose my shots. Uh, I'll repurpose my shots to LinkedIn and
Mm-mm.
to IG as well. Yeah, so that's the bare minimum because I think people don't think so, but marketing, I take one whole day to do marketing also. Posting on different platforms, scheduling
Yes.
things, like it can be a pain. Sorry, my dog wants to be in here.
Ah,
So
so
she's if
cute.
I put on I haven't brought her for a walk, so if I put her on the floor, she will go a bit crazy.
It's
Yeah.
okay. She can be in the frame. Hi. Good
Hi.
morning to you. Okay, we have one more question
Mm.
from Nurul. So she asked, how do you juggle between full-time work and content creation back when you were working full-time?
Mm. Hello, Neural. So I think it's a lot of time management, I believe.
Mm,
When I and a lot of like self discipline in that sense. I really
mm,
wake up a bit earlier. I try to focus on myself first. Like I really first 2 hours of the day. I really try not to look at my phone. I do a bit
right.
of journaling, drink my coffee. I bring the dogs for a walk. Then I come back, and then for me, the most painful thing I think about the whole process is scripting. Because I'm a bit lost, right, and I like a lot of context and things like that. And when I write, when I write, I like it to be a very like I want the video to come out as a very well thought out sort of
Yeah.
holistic video, not just like a
Yes.
one sided sort of thing lah.
Mm.
Um, so that's why it takes up majority of my time. But I'm actually
Mm.
I'm a very efficient person, I would say. But I'm not efficient with scripting. It just takes so long. Then I get very impatient with myself. Yeah. So that being said, I think with the juggling, right? Yeah, lor, I just
Mm.
make sure like uh I do my work at work. Like I really need to make
Yeah.
sure the work I
Of
do at
course.
work is, I mean, I'm paid for it. I
Of
better
course. Yeah.
kind of like give the best quality work.
Yeah.
Um but if I'm done with work for that day, I'm like, okay, let me switch to do something else. Because honestly, by the time I'm done with work, I think my brain is a bit fried also.
Mm.
That's why
Yeah.
in the morning when my mind is most clear, I prioritize myself first. I do the stuff for like YouTube first, or writing or scripting first. Then after that,
Mm.
when I'm like, okay, creative juice cannot flow already, then I go and do like the professional work. Still start
Right.
within the work timing and all that. But yeah, then after that, if I have a bit of time here and there, I just take out and like continue scripting. Um, and then yeah, I think it's important like to manage the expectations between
Yep.
your work as well as like the work you're doing. I
Mm-mm.
believe like if you're being paid to do work, you still need to give your 100%, that sort of
Of
thing.
course. Yep.
So it's a bit different, I think, with corporate and freelance, which is why I also personally like the idea of freelance now, because freelance is like you figure out the project, right? It's your
Yes.
own timelines, it's your own like you do it the way you want to do it. As long as you
Mm.
deliver it,
Mm-mm.
you're good, right?
Yep.
But it's not that way with corporate. It's very sometimes there's a lot of like politics you need to play, you need to be there and like show your face, that sort of thing. But that's not my priority at the moment, right? My
Right.
priority is me and my YouTube channel. So I'm going to, whatever time I have left, I'm going to put on there. So
Mm.
it's a very delicate balance, I would say.
Mm.
But
Mm.
short answer, I think just if it's really a priority to you, um you need to put in the hours and you need to prioritize that lah. So I would
Mm-mm.
for me, I do it first thing in the morning, right?
Mm.
um yeah, and after that, like, there are a bit of sacrifices here and there lah. Sometimes I'm like, no, I can't go for dinner because I need to edit my video, or
Mm.
things like that, small things like that. But it
Mm.
all adds up lah, and just depends what you want lor. I can't speak too much because
Yeah.
everyone's
Correct.
priorities are very different, right? And
True.
yeah, I'm in a sense, yeah lor, my dogs are also my priorities, right? Yeah, I'm sure it's
Yes.
different for everyone.
Correct, correct. I think there's really no one size fits all kind of answer or way to do it. Like some people work better at night.
Mm,
They create better at night. Some people create better in the morning. So it really depends on where can you actually fit your time, especially if you're working full time. Because when you're working full time, that's like what you said, that amount of time is for your full time job. So in
mm,
between, whether it's morning or nighttime, are you going to put it in your YouTube channel? It's really depends on you lah.
mm.
Mm,
Correct, correct.
yes. Okay. So she has a follow up comment. So she said, "Thank you, Jamie, for sharing.
Oh,
XSISG kit here.
cool.
What's that?"
Yeah. That's the skills ignition program from Google.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a special
Right,
program
right.
to me because I was the first program manager for like the first cohort. So it means a lot to me.
Ah,
Like I think it was like my favorite program from Google because it really helps the community. Especially it was created because of COVID, to help Singaporeans and
okay.
PRs upscale and things
Yeah,
like
okay,
that.
okay.
But yeah.
Right. Oh, nice. Yay. So, your videos actually basically really help her navigate her application and yeah, Nuclear Life last year. So,
Thank you, thank
yes,
you.
congrats both of you to be in the um uh, session. Okay. So, just now you were mentioning about scripting, right? So, does
Mm.
that mean that scripting is your least favorite thing about to do when you are creating YouTube videos, or is there anything else?
Yeah, yes, scripting is a very big one, very painful for me.
Mm,
Again, I'm someone who likes to provide context to a
information.
lot
Yeah.
of things, right? So, again, also, I just want the video to be very holistic, very well thought out. I don't want it to be like a one-sided, I'm just slamming people from a certain angle and I'm not thinking, like, even for example, my latest video on
Mm,
quiet quitting, or even why I left
yeah.
the corporate life, right? Like, I know a lot of things were like my experience, my point of view, but then I also want to think about what are people thinking from the other side of
Mm.
things, right?
Mm.
So even with my quiet quitting, I was like, yeah, employees, this is what you can do, but employees, this is what you also can do, and how can we come to a solution together on it, right?
Right.
So it's things like that. I want it to be very well thought out. So that's why it takes me a very long time to write everything out. I do it word forward. It's just that's just how my brain works, and I
Thought
can't do,
process, yes.
yeah, I can't really do like the bullet points kind of
Mm.
thing. So yeah, it just takes very, very long. It can take me a few days just to write like a script. And then when I finish writing everything out, it turns out to be like 14 minutes. I'm like, oh my god, it's too long, it's too long, it's too long. Like especially with editing, I
Yes.
really aim to get it to like 10 minutes max. I think
Mm.
that's the sweet spot.
Correct.
So I'm trying to figure out like, how many words am I writing? So
Mm.
I'm just trying to adjust that out also lah. But yeah, every other bit of the process is more straightforward for
Yep.
me now. I know
Mm.
a lot of people don't enjoy editing. I love it. Like everything I post is like it's me doing all the editing, and like I really enjoy the process. Like when I add sound effects in, like it makes me laugh, or like
Mm.
things like my latest video, I went to do like some goofy stuff, right?
Mm.
Like
Yes.
in hopes to make the audience laugh. But
Yep.
I had a lot of fun doing it also, and then I giggle also when I do it. Yeah. So it's yeah, scripting is painful. That's about it.
Yeah, I think I totally get you when it comes to like word for word. I can't do bullet points as well. I need to do
Mm.
like word for word, like really like sentences.
Mm.
I know there are people who can just, like do bullet points and then they can expand the
Mm.
whole of that content. Yeah, but I can't do it. So it's really, again, it's no one size fits all kind of thing. If you are the type of person who can do scripting by just bullet points, I think yeah, I mean, for me, kudos to you, because I can't do it. It's like really, it's not something that I'm able to do. I tried, but then after that, my videos became like really very short, like 3-4 minutes. I'm like, okay, no, this is not right, So I have to really like script really
Yeah.
fully in that
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a trial and error thing. Like it
Yeah.
works for
Correct.
some
Correct.
people, it doesn't work
Yeah.
for some people. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
never know if you don't try.
Correct. Correct. And then have you ever like heard, right? Because for me, I've always heard this sentence like YouTube is saturated. Like, do
Mm.
you think it's worth it, like in this current time, like those people who wants to go into YouTube and create videos on YouTube, do you think that it's actually worth it to go in there when people are already doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think personally in my experience, like a lot of doors have and opportunities have really
Yep.
opened up for me since I started doing this. I got more paid gigs. I met
Mm.
It's not only about the money, right? You
Yep.
meet people out there who are very, very interesting. It's done a lot for my personal branding, and I started a channel not to brand myself. Like, I
Yep.
started for a very different reason. But yeah, now a lot of people come to me for the career stuff. And
Yes.
now I'm really trying to establish myself as a thought leader in, I guess, a slightly different field now, still in the career thing, but a little bit different. So that happens also, right? The more you put yourself out there, the more people see your face, the more they kind of associate you with something else as well. So
Correct.
then you become like a thought leader in what you enjoy talking about, that sort of
Yep.
thing. So
Yep. Yep.
I don't really also see people as my competitors.
Mm.
I've gone down that path, and then it's felt really I felt really, of course, everyone feels very bad if or and lousy if they keep comparing themselves to
Of course.
others,
Yep.
right?
Mm.
So I choose to have this abundance mindset instead, and believe that anyone can succeed on YouTube. Like
Yes.
your audience will love you for you, the
Yep.
unique individual. And it's not like, oh, if I subscribe to this content creator, I cannot subscribe to that one. It's like you can subscribe to anyone, right? So if you
Correct.
provide value, people enjoy your stuff, they will just subscribe.
Yep.
um yeah, there's like the abundance and the scarcity mindset. So I always
Mm.
try to think like, yeah, collaboration is better.
Yes.
Share the knowledge freely.
Mm.
Just be generous with others instead of like, oh, I'm very scared, I don't want to share my knowledge, I don't want to help, because like, um if they do this, they will succeed more than me, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
um
Yes.
Even if you share your knowledge, and this is what I think, I don't know where I heard this from, but it's true. Even if you share your knowledge, right, with someone who knows a bit less than you, it's it's quite difficult to actually catch up in that sense if you don't put in the work, right?
Mm.
You can eventually catch up, and even if they do better than you, it's okay lah. You know, I'm
Yep.
sure they put in a lot of effort, that sort of
True.
thing. But it's not like you tell someone something the next day, they can do like, wow, an amazing video that's so much better than you, that sort of thing. And even
Mm.
if they do, just
Correct.
learn from them lah. Then maybe they are very good at you know, delegating, or that's
Mm.
just
Correct.
something you can definitely learn from other
Yep.
people. So I always try to
Yep.
go more on that mindset lah, instead of
Mm.
like, oh, yeah, I don't want to share my ways of doing things, that sort of thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. I think the more you share, the more that you can get knowledge from others as well, because when you
Mm,
share or you kind of like gives value, there are certain things that may miss, that some people may actually point out, like, oh, I never thought of that,
mm,
when I was actually doing YouTube channel and stuff like that. So when I was sharing a lot of things with a group of my communities who are actually creating YouTube videos, or creating YouTube channel, right? So I learned a lot from them as well, like how they do the editing, how they actually script themselves, because it really depends on individual, right?
mm.
And then when you see their videos, like, oh, this is interesting, like how they actually do it, how they actually edit it, how they actually say it, and the more of like the way they write on their about page or something like that. There is always something that we can learn from each other. So it's really good to have that. I really like the way you say abundance of, like collaboration, instead of just looking at the competitor and like, okay, I think I can do better. This person I don't like, I don't want to watch the videos or something like that. And it becomes stress on you, because you are
Yeah.
always looking out for that competitor sense, in that sense,
Yeah, correct, correct.
right?
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think um it's important to I lost my train of thought. Let me see. What did I want to say? Competitor mindset. Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah, it happens. No worries, later you will come back, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. Because there was like a point that I really wanted to make, but never mind. Anyway.
Okay, it's all right. Okay, so maybe to like sum it up, right? Um, what is your best piece of advice you can actually give to someone who just want to start a YouTube channel, or maybe someone who have started YouTube channel and then they feel like, is this really a platform for me? Like,
Hmm.
yeah, is there any like your best piece of advice that you can actually share?
Yeah, I think firstly you need to understand like what do you see YouTube as? Do you see
Mm,
it as like a business? Do you see it as like a hobby? Because if it's a hobby, then okay lah, you just post as and when you grow, then you are happy already, right?
yeah.
But if you're looking at it as like a business, like for me, I look at it as a business that I want to
Yep.
grow. Then just start. I think there's like gonna be 10,000 and more challenges along the way, but
Yep.
I really learned a lot of new skills just doing YouTube. Like
Yep.
it's like learning by fire. It's a very steep learning curve, right? But you get better along the way, bit by bit. Like
Mm-mm.
when I started, I didn't know how to, like I bought a Canon M50 for my
Wow.
first uh my first camera. I'm a bit of a
Yes.
gearhead, so I like it, right? I was like, okay lah, the beginner camera, let me try. I
Mm,
put it on. I just put it on auto. I was like, why doesn't it look as nice as some of the YouTubers with their like
mm,
background, blurry background? I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Then I start to watch more YouTube videos on
yeah.
M50, that sort of thing. Then yeah, I start to grow, and then you level up bit by bit lah. Then I level up my audio, then I level up my light, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. And then I learn about editing also,
Mm,
which I knew nothing about. But slowly, the more you do, the more you're like, and then you learn how to change your style of editing also.
yes.
And then you kind of like find your own style also.
Mm,
So it's like just so many things you have to learn at so many different parts of the process.
process. Yeah.
Um, and then when I think about it now, I'm like, yeah, I'm actually like, I'm not like the expert, but I'm at least at a professional enough level where you
Mm,
ask me to do a shot in one day, like I can do it.
mm,
I'm able to do it at that pace already. But
yep.
the first time I did a video, wow, I think it took me like 1 week plus to like even do something, right? It's just things like, how do I download this photo or download this video and put it into the
Mm,
timeline? How do I
yep.
make certain, like, you just learn and just yeah, and I find that really, really fun lah.
Mm.
And I think this is a very common piece of advice, but I think just be consistent. Post at a
Yes.
cadence that works for you. Uh, don't stress yourself out over like, oh, I need to post every week. I
Yes.
think a lot of people say like, yeah, post at the start it's quantity over quality. Just keep
Mm.
posting.
Mm-mm.
Um, but once you get to a certain level, it's like I think you need to start to be a bit more thoughtful about what you're posting,
Mm.
and yeah, just make sure you post at a cadence that works for you lah. So for me, I'm
Yep.
still figuring out. I want to do once a week, but maybe it's for me it should be once every 2 weeks. I don't know. Again,
Yep.
still figuring it
Mm.
out.
Yeah, true, true, true. I think we're always learning, we're always figuring things out. Because like what you mentioned, in every step that you are in, there is always something that you want to add in. There's always something you want to take out. So it's always something that
Mm,
you want to improve in that sense
mm,
to make your videos better. So there must be always something that you want to make your YouTube channel or your videos better. It's not just your videos, but the whole look of your YouTube channel. Because I feel that now YouTube has kind of like channeled themselves to become like a social media platform as well because of the community tab.
mm,
Because I remember last time community tab is only open for 500 subscribers and above. So when you first just started, you already have that community tab. So you can have
mm,
that, chance to communicate with your subscribers, even if it's just a small community. 40 subscribers when they are actually viewing your videos is way better than having like 40,000
mm,
subscribers, let's say. Like it's the same concept like if you open a physical shop. So for 40 people coming into your shop, it's really a huge deal.
mm.
So it's really something that you can always learn every time when you are creating your YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Jamie, for this conversation. I really learned a lot. I think there's a lot of questions still, and would love to have again another conversation maybe in future. And if there's anything like if you guys have any other questions to Jamie, you can hit subscribe to her YouTube channel. I'm going to put up on the page here. Yep, subscribe to Jamie's YouTube channel at this link, and watch out for her videos where she talk about future work. She talk about what do you call it? What did you mention just now? A creator journey and also self development. I'm always looking forward for her self development videos because it's really something that I feel there always some part of the videos that kind of like hit me in the face, like, okay, yes, I shall do this, that kind of thing. So thank you so much, Jamie, for sharing all your golden nuggets on your YouTube channel, and thank you so much for being with me here today on my YouTube live.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Renee. Like, I really appreciate it. And it's always fun, I think, talking to another YouTuber.
Mm.
Like I said, I think, yeah, there's a lot of things we can talk about offline also. There are a lot of
Yeah.
things that I could definitely learn from you also. So I'm looking forward to meeting you in person soon.
Yes, yes.
We have to make it happen.
Yes, of course. Yes, I hope you're well, and we are going to meet really, really, really very soon. Yes, thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank
Have a good
you.
one.
Right.
All right,
Bye, everyone.
bye. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I'll catch you again next week. Next week, we're going to talk to Mes, who is actually a good friend of mine, and he's a live streamer on YouTube. So we're gonna have some conversation about being a live streamer on YouTube. Okay, so tune in next week. I'll share some more details in the near future, and see you next week. Bye.